Hello, Raven friends. Hope you guys are all doing good. I'm here to check in again after a long time. Sorry again. I think at this point it's best to just assume that my videos might be a little inconsistent because I have to just go by whatever my life is going through at the time and whatever my schedule allows. But I'm back. I actually had a really cool idea. So let's talk about that right now. So real quick, just to kind of explain it very quickly, I obviously watched Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein 2025, right? And I've watched it at this point at least like 7 times, both my husband and myself, and I absolutely love that movie. We all love it. It has such inspiring messages in it about relationships that you deal with, and grief and acceptance, and living your life and learning to accept your own faults and other people's faults. And it's just such an inspiring movie, and I think Guillermo del Toro did such an awesome job with the artistry of it, we'll say. And anyways, after watching it numerous times, I kept thinking, like it really inspired me creatively, and I wanted to do for the longest time now like a Frankenstein themed mantle. And I thought right now would be the perfect time, since we're still waiting for Halloween, since other major holidays are done and out of the way. I've had my current mantle, which I will show you guys, at like a sort of like gothic mixed with a little pink fairy spring, I guess we'll say. It's got a lot of like spring stuff on there. And it's been like that for quite a while now, and when I show you guys here in a bit, you'll see all the dust that's collected. And I keep looking at it and I want to do something different, so I thought this would be the perfect time to do a Frankenstein theme. And so my ideas and so I kind of thought my idea would be, one, I keep wanting to buy a Frankenstein bust, a bust sculpture or whatever, and I know they usually have them at like Michael's and stuff, but I always pass on them for whatever reason, which I probably will get one this year. But I also kind of wanted to make my own, because the thing about it is they're always, of course, the classic Frankenstein, which there's nothing wrong with that. I love a good classic Frankenstein, and you guys know that if you've seen some of my past videos where I've talked about Frankenstein and the Universal Monsters movies. But I also, after watching Guillermo del Toro's creature, I want something that I want this mantle at least to represent that version of Frankenstein's creature. So obviously there's none out there, and I do have some leftover air dry clay, modeling clay, and I thought about maybe kind of trying to make my own bust. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but that is an idea I have. Second idea I had, hold on, I had them written down here, so let me look at my cute little cat pad, which I got this on a sale. I got it for 50 cents instead of $1. Not that $1 is a lot. Oh, and I got this cute little pin. How adorable, right? Anyways, so I wrote my ideas down. The other thing I wanted to do is I want to make my own aged distressed or color aged distressed pages. So I want to bring like a lot of like the aesthetics from the movie and some of the design concepts and ideas and whatever the word is that I'm looking for into the decorating of my mantle. So some of the designs ideas, obviously the bust, I'm going to try to do the creature bust, and then I want to do you know how he has like the anatomy pages where he's like, you know, he's all of his research, and they're like these distressed discolored, aged looking pages with like anatomy and like his notes and stuff. I want to make my own. So I did look up online an idea where you can use either coffee or tea to kind of discolor your pages. And so that's going to be another project. I'm going to incorporate that. I also want to incorporate butterflies, and I'm thinking it would be nice to kind of represent one. I feel like the butterflies would represent love, and I also feel like they'll bring out a good representation of Elizabeth. So I do want to incorporate her as well, because I feel like she did play a big role in this movie. What was the other thing? This whole mantle is going to be like my own interpretation, kind of in a way, of Frankenstein and what I took from it. It's going to be kind of like my own form of art, and everything's going to represent something different. I'm also going to represent autumn leaves, orange autumn leaves, because there's that one scene in the movie where he's chained down in that like basement, or I don't know what that area is in that castle place, and he's got like the orange autumn leaves, and he's just like real drawn to them, and he floats them in the water. And there's also like a connection that he makes with Elizabeth in the movie with the leaves. So I want to incorporate some autumn leaves onto the mantle, and I feel like for me, my representation of it is going to be that the leaves will represent change, grief, acceptance, and forgiveness, and also the creature. It'll be a representation of the creature, since the butterflies will represent love and let's say eternal beauty. I love the way that sounds. And Elizabeth. So I'll have the pages, the discolored pages with the anatomy on it, the butterflies, the bust, autumn leaves. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Definitely, we're obviously going to incorporate candles. There's obviously good candle lighting, and I have my candelabra, and I've got my taper candles. I've got tons of taper candles, if you guys can remember from my last video. That's all I have so far, but let's get to it. Okay, so let's go to Pinterest, my usual go-to for visual inspiration. I have tons of boards and pins that I have saved, which you guys are always more than welcome to follow me on my Pinterest. I'll link it in my YouTube description box. Just if you guys are ever curious, want some inspiration yourselves, want to take a look at some of my visual board designs, I'm always happy to share some inspiration with someone else. But anyways, as you can see, I've kind of already been looking at some Frankenstein quotes. Let's do... Let's do this Frankenstein aesthetic, so we can... Okay, so you see here we have the original creature though, so we'll scratch that, but I definitely want that quote right there. I love this quote. Okay. Oh, a lot of botanicals, so we're definitely going to be using a lot of botanicals. Let's see, what else? I like that quote, so I'm probably going to use that quote for one of them. I have love in me, the likes of which you can scarcely imagine, and rage, the likes of which you would not believe. I really liked that quote, so I'll definitely be using that one. What else are we looking for? Oh, this one too. I love this quote right here. An idea, a feeling became clear to me. The hunter did not hate the wolf did not hate the sheep, but violence felt inevitable between them. Perhaps I thought this was the way of the world. It would hunt you and kill you for just for being who you are. And I love that because that's kind of like that dog eat dog world. And so I'll definitely be using that one as well. Let's save that to our own. Frankenstein mantle. Let's do. And then where was that other one? Oh, definitely love this too. And it looks like I saved it, but let's save it to this board. Kind of like this one also. Well, let's save it anyways. Oh, no. And then let's go back before I forget. Let's go back and save. Oh, this one. Oh my god. Okay, I might use that. Oh, dang it. Let's see what else. It was on here. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see. I might have to like incorporate some like vintage looking frames. Kind of like, where was it? Like these that we're seeing here, these on this shop now, to put some of the quotes, like frame some of the quotes. Let's see, what else? Oh, this quote too, I loved it. Did I save something similar? I don't know. We'll save it anyways. And if death is not to be, then consider this, my son, while you are alive. What recourse do you have but to live? I love that. Like, really, I feel like so many of us go on living life holding on to regret and anger and grudges that we spend more time focusing on it and we forget to live. Okay, kind of like this. Let's save this picture. This is kind of cute. Pretty sure I've already saved something like this, but I have a tendency to just save things anyways, just in case. You can never have too much pins, can you? Oh, I was also taking note when I was watching the movie again for the millionth time recently. All of the moss in the background, which I'm probably going to save this picture too, actually. But all of like the moss in the background, and I thought about all of the stuff that I bought from Michael's for last Halloween to do my witchy themed mantle. Ouch. There were definitely these moments in the movie that symbolized the painting, what is it, the creation of man. I hope I'm calling it by the right name, but if not, oops. But there was like definitely moments in the movie where they had like that moment. In the first one was the part where Victor wakes up to see the creature standing watching over him in the bed, and when he gets up and like he reaches his hand towards him, they have like that, which was really neat little I spy or whatever you want to call it, concerning art, the creation of man, and it's his creation coming to life or brought back to life. Oh, this one too. I loved that quote. God, there's so many quotes. I'm gonna have to choose wisely, because if not, I'm gonna have so many freaking quotes. What is this? Okay. Okay, let me just find one more good visual to save, and then we'll probably just call it on that. I don't want a quote. I want more of like page visuals. Let's see. Come on, just one more good one. Oh, I'm gonna save this. Yep, okay. All right. Craven friends. It is a different day today, so we'll just call this day 2 of this project, I guess. But I finished up my anatomy Frankenstein themed pages. Well, not finished, but I finished designing them and printing them, I guess we could say. So just kind of took my time on it, just because I wanted to make sure I got everything that I wanted. But here's the first one. I wanted to make sure I took my time and, one, not only making them look like some of the pages that were used in the movie, but I wanted the fonts to be kind of something similar, and I also wanted to make sure I incorporated all of the quotes from the movie that were my favorite quotes. Let's see if it'll focus. So I definitely took a lot of time designing these, which I did use Canva. And now the next step, here's the next page. The next step is going to be just color staining them and just aging them to make them look real aged and withered, which I will be using either the tea process or the coffee process, depending on what I have in my pantry. I love the way this one turned out. I put the leaves, and I put this, and you could even see the Canva logo here, because some of them were paid designs, and you could use them for free as long as you know, they leave their logo. Which that doesn't matter to me. That's fine with me anyways. They're my own personal use for here at home anyways. But I put this old man because I feel like he represents the blind man on the movie, and I put his quote next to it. There's that page, and then how many pages did I do? Oh, a total of 4. And this page represents Elizabeth. So these are some of her quotes, and I made it a little more, you know, designed the edges, all of her her fascination with small things, as she says, and insects. So I did a bunch of like beetles, and I love the way they turned out. I am super excited to wither these, I guess we'll call it, or age them, whatever the process is called. I can't wait to do that. So let's do that next, and then I've got to start working on some of the other projects that I have planned out for this whole Frankenstein theme mantle. So let's get right to that. Okay, so some of the step-by-step instructions for the aging process is, it says to tear the edges before, so do like little tattered edges, crumple the paper, and then smooth it out. And then one of the steps is also, I'm going to use coffee because that's what I have. I thought I had tea left over, but I don't. So I'm going to use coffee, and it says to brew a pot of coffee, of strong black coffee, and then the step says to submerge the sheet, or your page that you're trying to age and distress, into a baking sheet or a baking pan. Submerge it in the coffee mixture in a baking pan. I'm gonna avoid doing that just because this is regular printer ink, and the last thing I want is for it to all start to run and get ruined. So I think I'm just gonna rely on my usual dry brushing technique that seems to never fail me, or never seems to fail me. So I'm gonna do that, and hope that none of the ink runs even just by using that process. So let's see how it turns out. after the aging and distressing. They are still a little bit damp, some of them. So I've got to let them dry a lot more. And they do curl, obviously, as you can see at the edges. So I'll just have to put them inside of a book to flatten overnight. And we will come back tomorrow to see what the next step is, or the next project, I should say.